There was a time when handing someone your business card wasn't the flex. Handing them your BlackBerry PIN was. If you don't know what that means, you're about to. And if you do, you just felt something. By 2010, this company was worth more than Adidas. More than MTV. More than Ben & Jerry's. A company that, at the time, made exactly one thing, a phone with a tiny keyboard that buzzed in your pocket during a meeting you weren't supposed to be checking it in. Today it's basically gone from your pocket. But, and this is the part almost nobody knows, the company never actually died. We'll get to what it actually became by the end of this video, and it's stranger than you'd guess. Let's go back to the start. Because BlackBerry, the phone, is not where this company began. In 1984, in Waterloo, Ontario, two engineering students founded a company called Research in Motion. Not BlackBerry. RIM. For 15 years, this company existed doing wireless data technology before the product that made it famous even launched. The BlackBerry device itself didn't show up until 1999. 15 years of unglamorous groundwork before the thing you actually remember. And what RIM built with that groundwork solved a problem nobody else had solved properly yet, getting email onto a phone, reliably, instantly, with a keyboard good enough to actually type on. Not a stylus. Not a numeric keypad spelling out words like a nightmare. An actual keyboard. For anyone in business, government, or law in the 2000s, this wasn't a nice-to-have. It became the tool. Executives got twitchy without it. It had a nickname, the Crackberry, because people were, genuinely, addicted to checking it. By the mid-2000s BlackBerry wasn't just a product. It was a status marker and a productivity requirement at the same time. That combination is incredibly rare, and it's a huge part of why the company's value climbed the way it did. Which brings us to 2010, the peak. BlackBerry's market value at this point wasn't just big. It was bigger than Adidas. Bigger than MTV's parent valuation. Bigger than Ben & Jerry's. One phone company, worth more than a global sportswear brand and a media empire. So what happened? How does a company worth more than Adidas end up as a punchline within a few years? 3 years earlier, in 2007, a different company had launched a phone with no physical keyboard at all. A glass slab. At the time, plenty of BlackBerry's own executives didn't take it seriously. A full touchscreen with no tactile keys felt, to a keyboard-first company, like a step backward, not forward. It wasn't a step backward. Through the following few years, the iPhone, and shortly after, the wave of Android phones, didn't just compete with BlackBerry. They redefined what a smartphone even was. Apps. A real web browser. A camera people actually wanted to use. BlackBerry kept optimizing the thing it had already won, email and messaging, while the market moved on to wanting a computer in their pocket. By 2012, the cracks weren't subtle anymore. Leadership announced 5,000 layoffs in a single year. The software update that was supposed to be BlackBerry's real answer to touchscreen competitors, BlackBerry 10, kept slipping. And the stock, which had traded near its all-time highs just a couple of years earlier, fell all the way down to close around $6 that fall. A company that had been worth more than Adidas was now trading like a company nobody believed in. In 2013, it got real. BlackBerry agreed to be acquired, by a consortium led by Fairfax Financial, a firm run by Prem Watsa, an investor sometimes called Canada's Warren Buffett. Fairfax was already sitting on about 10% of the company. A deal, reportedly, worth around $4.7 billion. For context on how far that had fallen, this was a company that a few years earlier had been worth more than a multi-billion-dollar global sportswear brand on its own. The company kept trying to fight back on hardware for a few more years. It didn't work. In 2016, BlackBerry did something that would have been unthinkable a decade earlier. It stopped making its own phones. The brand got licensed out to another manufacturer, TCL, who kept putting the BlackBerry name on Android phones with physical keyboards for a few more years. That arrangement itself quietly ended in 2020. So, is that the end? The obvious assumption is yes. Another dead tech giant, added to the pile with Blockbuster and Napster and everyone else on this channel. Here's the part almost nobody knows. BlackBerry never actually shut down. It's still a publicly traded company today. It just isn't a phone company anymore, it makes cybersecurity software, and it holds a pile of patents from its wireless technology days that other companies still pay to license. The phone in your pocket killed the product. It didn't kill the company. It just made the company do something almost nobody noticed it doing. Which raises the actual interesting question, and it's the one we're going to keep coming back to on this channel: how much of what people assume is dead tech actually just quietly changed what it does, while everyone stopped paying attention? If you had a BlackBerry, tell me what you used it for down in the comments. Not the generic answer. The specific thing. The one meeting, the one message, the one moment it actually mattered. That's the stuff that tells us what to cover next. Subscribe if you want the next one of these, and there's a lot more where this came from.